spot in the postseason, and now Aaron Rodgers and the Packers can also get into the postseason with a win this Sunday night. Shannon, which QB should teams fear more in the postseason?
Skip, I got to answer this in a two-part question, and I understand Brady's history. I know what he's capable of doing because I've seen it so many times. He's not to be questioned come playoff time, but I believe I'm going to trust Rodgers a little more because of the team that he's coming in with. This is the first time that I can honestly say that I believe a lot of people are saying Brady doesn't come in with the superior team. He might come in with the inferior team.
I would agree.
So with that being said, now, if Brady was on Rodgers' team,
yep,
it's a no-brainer.
Okay.
Because I think the Packers' defense is playing better than the Bucs' defense.
Okay.
I think Rodgers, they're really close. One has 25 touchdowns, the other has 24 touchdowns. One has 11 interceptions, the other has 9. The QBR is punishing Rodgers. I think his QBR is like 39, but Tom is like 51. Yeah. So he's slightly above average, and Rodgers is way below average.
Yep.
But when you look at Skip, Packers are 14th in points scored, Bucs are 24th in points scored. It's just both quarterbacks have not played to the level that we've expected them to play. Considering what they were last year, Brady led the league in passing touchdowns. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think Justin Herbert nipped him at the end as far as yards.
Yep.
And we know what Rodgers did. He was the MVP, back-to-back MVP. Neither quarterback has played to the level that we expected, nor that they expected of themselves. So for me, Skip, the only way that I can really answer this question, I'm going to say I would trust Tom. If he was on the Packers, I would say, yeah, no question. But I trust the Packers team. So if you make me say, yeah, I trust Brady, but not with the team that he has, because I haven't seen enough, Skip. One game is not enough to convince me. I think you might be a little bit more convinced that he's turned it around based on what you saw against Carolina.
Yep.
But I'm not there yet because I've seen 15 games that would lead me to believe that he hadn't turned it around versus the one that would lead you to believe that he has.
Okay. By the way, just to frame the QBR, if you just do their ranks, Tom is pretty terrible by his standards in QBR. He ranks 18th in the league. Aaron ranks 26th.
Yeah.
26th?
Yeah.
Okay. Now back to the question at hand. This is fascinating to me because I do not disagree with your premise about team versus team. I'm going Green Bay all day and all night. There's something about Brady in the postseason where I'm going to give him the edge because I can just show you what he's been doing.
Well, you got 19. You got a 22-year body of work,
and I don't have much body of work on Aaron in the postseason. No. So if it comes to that, yeah, my money would have to be on that 12 in Tampa versus the other 12 in Green Bay.
Right.
I do love the fact that they're both going to sort of slipper back into the playoffs.
Right.
So that's given that Green Bay. I don't think it's a done deal that they're going to be Detroit, but they're 4.5-point favorites.
Well, they 8-8, so both teams, if they won, would be 9-8.
9-8. And I don't even know if Tampa, they say they're going to play their guys at least for a half, but we'll see if they win in Atlanta. I'm not even sure about that. But here's the point. The weird part about this is Green Bay took off when they sort of shelved Aaron.
Yeah.
Green Bay took off when they said, Aaron, we're going to take the ball out of your hands. We're going to take the game out of your hands.
Yeah.
And if you look at these last 4, when they went from 4-8 to 8-8, I'm looking at what happened. Well, they started running it more than they throw it.
Right.
And by the way, just on Pro Football Focus grade of the running attacks of these two teams we're talking about,
not even close.
Green Bay is ranked second or graded second in rushing.
Yeah.
Tampa is graded dead last in rushing, 32nd. So it's second versus 32nd.
It's not like that. Skip, the thing is, sometimes you can see a team that rush for yards, but the yards per attempt is not that high.
Yep.
They terrible in both.
Okay.
Yards a game and rush and yards per attempt.
Okay. So they started to turn around when they won at Chicago.
Yeah.
And they threw it 31 times, but they ran it 32 times, did the Packers.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, here come the Rams at Green Bay in that night game, and it's 30 passes to 35 rushes. Then the only aberration was at Miami. Aaron did throw it 38 times, and they rushed it only 25 times. But they were in trouble until Tua started throwing it to them.
Yeah.
Remember, they were in big trouble.
Big trouble. Yeah, they were down. They were down 10, if I'm not mistaken.
They were down 10, and all of a sudden Tua throws it to them 3 times in the second half. In the fourth quarter. Then here we go back to Minnesota, which was their signature win of the year at Green Bay, and they throw it 27 times, but they run it 33 times.
Right.
And Aaron's QBRs in these games are low, low, low. They average 41, which is below, it's 50 average.
Well, that's kind of how he's been playing because they got him at 39.6.
Okay. And so his passing yardage in these games is like 182, 229, 238, 159. It's not what we used to call him the transcendent thrower of the football because he was a transcendent thrower.
I gave the defensive coordinator said, if we can hold this man to under 200 yards passing, we're going to win the game.
Okay.
But you can't let them get 200 yards rushing in the process.
Okay. So now we just saw Brady have his one big, great game.
True.
Chips pushed to the middle of the table in the NFC gone south. But he throws for 432 in that game and 3 touchdowns all to that guy, Mike Evans. Sneak for the 1 touchdown, so we had 4 total touchdowns. And yet, I'm looking at the whole regular season. Would you believe the Tampa Bay Bucks threw it 717 times so far through this regular season? They've only run it 366. I mean, you're bordering on doubling.
Yes.
You're bordering on throwing twice as many passes.
Yes.
Okay. Statistically, what does that mean for Brady? He doesn't care about this at this stage of his career. He's got all the numbers and all, but he is now first in attempts in the league, first in completions in the league, and he's second overall to Mahomes in yards.
Right.
Because that's who they are.
Right.
They've degenerated into this because they can't run a lick outside game number one,
Right.
which was at Dallas when they had their best running game of the year, which was at Dallas. They ran it 33 times for 152 yards. That's the only time that they've had that kind of rushing total.
But the problem is, Skip, when you have that many pass attempts and so few big plays, you can't.
Terrible.
It's terrible. Like you said, over 700 attempts, and really, you only got like 4 big passing plays, and they're all to Mike Evans.
It's crazy.
So in other words, Tom is throwing the ball over 700 times, but he's throwing the ball from me to you.
He is.
So
he's flipped, instead of running it, he flips it to playoff Lenny.
Yeah. Or to White.
Or to Rashad White.
Yeah.
Okay. Or to one of the two rookie tight end receivers.
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's who they've devolved into, and it's not pretty to watch. Now, Pro Football Focus does grade the Tampa defense slightly better at 18th and the Green Bay at 21st, but that's for the whole year. But to your point, over the last 4 games, I will take the Green Bay defense. Right. Listen, Jair Alexander, I know he talked, but then he walked his talk about the fluke game.
Yeah.
But he's big time. Tampa doesn't have that.
No, Skip, I think the thing for me is that when Tampa's defense is bad, they're god-awful. That what they gave up against, and I know Brady didn't play well against San Francisco, but it was 35-0. Defense, you are allowed to stop somebody. You just don't have to let them score the touchdown because your offense turned the ball over.
Yep.
And we saw Mahomes go up and down the field on them. So that's my concern, Skip, because I see teams can run the ball, and then I saw Sam Darnold do what he did.
Yep.
And I don't think anybody thinks Sam Darnold is a world beater, but he did throw for 341.
Yep.
He did that.
He did that. And yet Brady threw for 432, and Aaron hasn't even come close to that. Aaron had out of 300.
Yeah, I was going to say, look at Skip. What he threw for last year, 30, he got 3,400 yards. He's not going to even break 4,000.
Okay.
Now 4,000 is the new 3,000, because it used to be like when I was in the league and late, 3,000 yards was great. 4,000 was reserved for the Marinos.
Yeah.
Ain't a whole lot of those 4,000 yards throwing the football.
Okay.
Now, if you don't throw for 4,000 yards in a season, Skip, with the way that everybody throws it.
Agreed.
People look at you like, he's not good.
I agree. So I've said for years, I believe the other Aaron is the unsung MVP because Aaron Jones is a football player.
Yeah.
And listen, the other big stud running back.
Dillon.
Listen.
He can move the pile.
They can thunder and lightning you with those, and they know it, and they're now playing to their strength.
And those kid receivers just keep getting better and better. Now, Woods is nicked. I think he got a thigh or a hip injury or something like that. He tried to go. He didn't have a lot of impact. But I can see moving forward. This can be a very. I don't think they can be too dangerous this year, Skip. Because I still think the Eagles are slightly better. I think the 49ers are better. It'd be a very interesting matchup between them and the Cowboys again if they should meet.
Very.
But I think moving forward and next year, with the way these guys grew up at the end of this year with Dobbs and Woods, and Tanyan is getting healthier and healthier.
Pretty good.
if they can keep that out, they re-signed Jenkins. If Bakhtiari can get close back to that form, Skip, because Bakhtiari was a top 2 tackle. It was between him and Trent Williams. Well, who you like? You like Bakhtiari? You like Trent Williams? Now, Trent Williams is in a different league right now. But if Bakhtiari can get back healthy, this can be a dangerous team, I think, next year. The matchup will be who do they get? Now, they can beat Minnesota. If they mess around and get paired against Minnesota again, they can go to Minnesota and beat them.
Agreed.
They absolutely can go to Minnesota and beat them.
Okay.
I don't think anybody, I think everybody was like, okay, Tampa, they have Brady, but we've seen them there.
Yeah.
I promise you, nobody is afraid of Minnesota, Skip. Everybody would say, I don't care, we give up home field to go to Minnesota.
Okay, I got it. Last point. Big picture, postseason, just to remind everybody, to frame this for everybody. Brady is now 35-12 in the postseason. So he's won 35 postseason games.
Man, that's 3 years of football.
It's a lot of football.
That's 3 years.
He's gone to 10 Super Bowls. He obviously won 7 of them.
Right.
Aaron went to one long ago, 12 years ago, Super Bowl, and he did win it. So he's 1 for 1, period, end of story. But overall in the postseason, Aaron is 11-10. Yeah. So Brady, 35-12 to Aaron's 11-10. Aaron is 7-9 since the Super Bowl run that was all road wild card.
Yeah.
Remember, they had to win 3 on the road to get to Jerry World to play Pittsburgh.
Right.
So,
I know they beat Atlanta, and they beat
Philly. They beat Michael Vick.
Philly,
Michael Vick played great, and then threw one bad ball.
And then they went to Chicago, beat Caleb Haney. I think that's who it was in the
NFC Championship, because my guy Jay Cutler from Vanderbilt, whatever happened, sprained his knee and wound up watching the second half on the exercise bike on the sideline. And the immortal Caleb Haney